Are we up?
Yeah, where we go?
Alright, welcome back to Blades and Blasters. This is going to be one of our one-shots of the Demon Game, apocalyptic dark fantasy role-playing game from Arcanum Syndicate. You can check that out at www.arcanumsyndicate.com or Drive Through RPG if you're interested. My shameless little plug there. And we're going to be playing a module, the first act of Coast of Thrall. Everybody please introduce your character. Starting with Garrus.
Hey, I'm Lucidities, and I'm going to be playing Garrus Elm, a middle-aged or so ranger type who has grown up in the woods, making his living and surviving as a hunter. Who spent the last few years in the village where the game is going to be starting, pining after a woman who he's finally accepted he could never be with. And yeah, that's Garrus.
Haley.
Hi, I'm Emma, and I'm playing Haley Krentz. She's the daughter of a well-known alchemist, and after her father died, she was sent away by her mother, who's potentially not her actual mother. They never really got along well. So once Dad was out of the picture, Haley was sent away to study to be an alchemist under the Grandmasters in Mianwu. She spent a few years there in the town of Dami, getting to know Aika Su and Garrus Elm, and they had some stuff go down, and now they're on this adventure.
And I'm Matihi, playing Aikatsu, the Champlain who worships the god Beogard, and she will make sure that both her and Beogard watches over everyone on this voyage and beyond. She learned her ways by joining the Temple of Beogard to learn with the priests, to learn how to heal and how to heal her poor father, who was unfortunately plagued by a disease of the hands. But now she's on the way across the seas to assist with this quest they are on and to assist those further in her travels.
I'm Slip, and I'm going to be playing Nia. Nia grew up on the streets. She stole some things. She ended up on a boat, Mianwu, when she was pretty young. She landed in Kaichinraka, and a street boss named Chensun took her in and made her a runner. She and her best friend Folden one day got it into their heads to keep some of the boss's loot. Thought he'd never miss it, but he did. They ran, but Folden got snagged. He told Nia to keep running, and she did, but it kind of broke her heart. Now she's just trying to put some distance between the city and that whole fiasco.
And then I'll be playing Enshu. Ah, you wish to know more about Enshu? As many do, yes, I will regale you with my tale. I was born in the city of Alagina in Espodosa, capital city near the harbor. Very cultured place, very refined tastes. Not the place you would expect for one so dashing as me, though, given my fine fur. My parents fled from something far to the east. I spent a good deal of time there, mostly as a ne'er-do-well in hindsight. Charming young women, doing their jobs, but I was beaten quite bloodily by a few angry men when a catman one-upped them on their game. And so I learned to dance a different way, with the sword. Yes, I was very good with the sword. Still am, I think, perhaps better with words. But I volunteered for a quest which changed me. Nearly lost my arm and lost my eye, as you can see. But since then, I have been traveling, trying to rediscover the spirit of adventure. And of course, bad beauty is tavern girls.
Nice. And now we pan over to the intro. Don't want that yet. The year is 1378, in the 11th era. It is the year of the Crow. You all find yourselves aboard a dwarven-made Bardinger, a three-mast ship docked currently at Rio no Miyako, and set to sail towards the famous city of Soulbade. Garrus Elm, the ranger, Aikazu, the chaplain, and Haley Krent, the alchemist, were able to supply the quartermaster, Filgan Thorn, with the correct papers for their journey, and thus the captain granted them a place of... The other two main characters in tonight's tale, Inshu, the Mensep swordmaster, and Naya Miyala, the mysterious hooded human, are also aboard the Trident. They may have just spent nearly their last bit of coin on this voyage just to run away from the City of Dragons and leave its memory far behind. Whatever their purpose, they are anxious about pulling out of port and getting on with their journey. The voyage across the Sea of Spears is not one without danger, yet it should only take you 4 days upon the normal trade route. There are many pirates in these waters, yet they are often patrolled by the navy of Min Wu. More so by the soldiers of Veldwar, though, the Red Guard, and your own Captain Tanis, a seasoned ship captain, who does not seem in the least bit worried at all. The ship flies the flag of Veldwar, a simple crimson flag with no markings on it. As well, the merchant guild house of Tirabol flies below the red flag. Tirabol's house sigil adorns the flag with a golden hawk carrying grain in one claw and a dagger in the other, upon a white background. The captain watches the deck with an eager eye, a content smile, yet taps his foot, obviously anxious to get on with it. The captain is a burly man with long, curly, dark hair and pointed mustache. He shouts out order. Trident seemed to step quick to his orders. The twin suns burn bright in the hours of high star. The sky holds only scattered clouds that seem to roll across the backdrop of the Dragon City and its ancient towers and unique Eastern architecture. The docks are alive with business and trade as merchants board other ships nearby, and some of the most exotic scents sweep towards the ship from the city streets. Aboard this ship, the Trident, you notice mostly humans, a few elves it seems. Ah, even a half-elf over there who seems to don his hood as your eyes pass over him. He wears a craftsman's hammer and tools on his belt, and he begins to take his gear below deck. 2 dwarfs are also on board, and one of them seems to be arguing with his brother about the proper way to carry a chest. "Mastan, lift with your legs, not your back, brother. You're gonna bust your back out at your ripe young age. Or you could just help me instead of running your mouth, you twit," retorts Maston, the older brother it seems, who wears a large necklace of a hammer and has this very same holy symbol patched upon his tunic. Then you hear a shout of authority that draws most of the crew to attention toward the ramp, where the large, dark-skinned Filgan Thorn, the quartermaster, awaits newcomers. Next to him stands another dark-skinned human who appears to rank. Then all of them are donned in well-made armor, wearing pauldrons of a large rectangular shape called sode. The guard that appears to be of highest rank steps forward and repeats himself. "Oi! Captain Tanis! Your prisoner, we bring you by order of... Fine, fine, very good. Captain Tanis cuts the soldier off and smiles to him as he approaches. Thank you. Please, to the brig below. He offers the sergeant a polite nod and a tip of the hat. All right, do not struggle with the words. Your Cawthon is very rich, as fine as my Raikanu. The guards transport what appears to be a very massive humanoid, hairy arms, wearing a burlap sack over his head. Certainly a male wearing torn cloth and leather, shackles on both the hands and feet. So he shimmels along with the soldiers and they guide him below deck. Everyone make a perception check, please. Out of all, Inshu and
I think Lucid's playing Garrus.
Garrus, thank you.
Yep,
Lucid
sorry,
and
I'll
Garrus.
switch my my tag.
Thank you very much. Garrus and Inshu, you notice that this large humanoid with the burlap sack is definitely an orc. Can't really tell much else, but is definitely an orc by the tint of his skin and the large shape of the man. So they take him below deck. Captain Tanis drops a few silver into the hands of the sergeant, and the guard bows, leaves with the rest of his men. Within no time he shouts out, "Hoist the anchor, lads, and let's set sail. We're safe or we won't be getting there. Farewell to the city of dragons, mates." And as the ship pulls out of port from Ryo no Miyako, you cannot help but feel a little bit of excitement, a little bit of danger as well. But amidst all of the feelings, you suddenly feel a strange sense of freedom on the open waters as the city starts to fade away on the horizon. And the ship pretty much looks dotted with many characters. Many characters are all on board on their passage to Soulbade. So you are free. You're down at the bottom there. If you can scroll back and find yourself. The three of you, the two of you, Inshu and Naya. And you're free to go ahead and roleplay.
Aika has her bone mace put to her side. It's attached to her tunic. And she's looking over the side of the ship, looking down at the water, hands, knuckles white, clasped against the edge of the ship. Not really used to this kind of travel. It's the first time she's ever felt the sway of water beneath her feet. She leans down a little bit, just staring at the water in amazement and a little bit of fear. Not sure exactly what's beneath these blue waves. Not really sure she wants to meet it. But also fairly excited for the new journey and also to find out what exactly this locket that they have in their possession means. She picks her head up slightly, looking back at Haley and Garrus, observing what the other two are doing.
Haley walks up as you're looking over the edge and glancing around. Is this your first time on a ship of this size?
Aika closes her eyes and nods and looks back out to the water.
Yes, it is. I'm not quite used to these types of things, but you know, it's a fairly new experience.
Well, a bit of advice from someone who has experienced these things before. If you feel your stomach churning, lean over the edge of the ship.
Oh, that's
Do not
why I'm here.
draw attention to yourself.
Alright. Thank you, Haley.
She goes back to looking out at the water, looking down, staring at it.
Ever wonder what's beneath there?
It truly
Hey.
stirs a feeling, doesn't it? Garrus says, walking up beside the his two traveling companions, staring out at the vastness of the ocean.
Definitely stirs something.
She'll look over towards Garrus a little bit nervously, a little bit more pale in the face than she was when she got on the boat.
It reminds you that we're so small in the grand scheme of things, but there's something comforting and awe-inspiring, but also so terrifying about it. This vast sea before us.
I do not like to think about it too much. There's nothing gained from worrying.
I didn't mention worrying, but what else is there to think about? Surely not the fate of that merchant. He's a good man. I'd rather think of the sea than what happened to him.
Yes, it was most unfortunate. All we can really do now is get to Soulbade and obey his dying wishes. Yes?
You have you have it still, don't you?
Nike looks
Of
over
course,
to
I,
her. Go ahead.
of course, I still have it. She kind of taps her bag with her hand.
Still no idea what it is or why it's so important?
I have tried studying it and opening it and various other things, but I cannot say.
Might be for the best. We don't know. I'm sure Beogard will guide our way and protect us on our journey.
What do you make of the rest of the crew and the travelers?
Aiko will kind of pick her head up, looking forward at everyone else milling about, doing their jobs on the ship. And just her gaze kind of pans over, looking at all the other humans and kind of noticing standing out is really looks like a cat man. And she narrows her eyes slightly.
I'm not sure what to make of the rest. But we should be on guard just in case. Don't worry, I will make sure to protect the two of you.
There are many faces and many people here that I am not sure I wish to trust. I simply am going to try to stay away from most and do what I can to pass the journey on my own.
We should keep an eye out for that the orc below decks. Did you see him boarding, being brought aboard?
Was it an orc? I could not see.
It's the gate that betrays him. It's a little too wide for a man that size.
That's comforting.
I do not think I have had much experience with orcs. Is it true that they eat children?
So the stories go, but frankly, there's many a story of men eating children too. Could you truly judge a people by the stories others tell about them?
They have to come from something, no?
That's for the scholars, and you're much more of that than I am, ain't you?
I think almost anyone can be considered more of a scholar than you, Garrett.
That's true. That's bloody true.
How long is this journey going to be? Have either of you talked to the captain and found out?
No, Nika shakes her head, again looking down at the water. No, I'm not sure exactly how long this is going to be. I hope it's not too long.
4 days. You hear a voice shout. This man here, dark-skinned human wearing a bandana. He smiles, very, very big smile, showing all his full teeth, and walks over in a friendly manner. I am First Mate Abana. It is nice to meet all of you.
It is nice to meet you too. Nika will bow to him. I am Ika too, Champlain of Beogard.
Garrus, friend.
Haley.
Very good to meet all of you. Has anyone shown you to your quarters below deck?
No, not yet. It would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Yes. And you two as well. And he looks over towards the other two, Inshu and Naya. I am First Mate Abana. Welcome aboard the Trident.
Oh, thanks. Naya actually startles a little when he says something to her. She'd been just watching the shore disappear, and the farther they got, the bigger her smile became. But she seems a little jumpy, and but she turns around and responds with a broad smile. I'm right happy to be aboard this ship. Sooner we get there, the better.
And she would turn around and look at Abana as he called out to us. Ah, yes, it is very nice to be aboard such a wonderful marvel of technology.
He smiles. The smiling never leaves his face, and he says, you, Mintep, is it true what they say? Do the waters frighten you?
Oh, no, not this Mentep. I am from the western side. My family was born in the east, but I grew up near fresh water such as this. We used to swim and catch fish with my bare claws. This is no trouble at all to me.
I always heard it was lucky to have a cat on board your ship.
Indeed. And one so dashing as myself, you are truly blessed, First Mate Abana, to have me here. And I am blessed to have your company as well.
First Mate laughs, and he says, excellent. Well, follow me below deck, and I will show you to your quarters. It's a tight fit, but I hope you enjoy it.
I am sure that we can crowd ourselves in. After all, we can all come together for comfort, yes?
Oh boy. All right. Let's go.
Ika will take the lead, follow the first mate downstairs, giving Enshu and Nia a bit of a look up and down, trying to assess the two new people they've encountered. They're going to be stuck with, most likely.
Nia's pretty roughly dressed. She's got a really friendly manner and an easy smile, but she has nervous eyes that dart a lot from left to right. Kind of a nervous habit of looking over her shoulder, too.
Enshu has sort of regal-ish clothes. They're a bit dirty. He has earrings that hang down a bit. He is really pretty short. I think he's 5'2", actually. Very short Catman, but he has a perpetual kind of grin on his face, and he is missing his left eye.
And Aika's kind of wearing more temple-esque clothing, kind of a tunic and pants, but very much, she's like definitely come from some sort of temple with a large holy symbol of Beogard hanging around her chest with kind of like a twine cord that's bumping just against her as she walks. It's a very serious expression. Definitely looks like she takes herself extremely seriously.
So is it business or pleasure that takes you to Soulbade?
Well, it's business, of course. But my name is Aika. Aika too, and yours?
Oh, sorry. I'm Nea. Nea Mayala. Not from here originally, obviously.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Nia.
And what about the rest of you?
My name is Haley Krent. 'Tis a pleasure.
And I'm Garrus Allen. Tell me, you said you're not from around these parts. Whereabouts you from? Where do your folks hail from?
Oh, far away. Doubt I'll ever get back there again. I have no idea where Enshu's from. Where do cat people come from?
Oh, well, my family was from Mentep, but I myself was born in Espadosa. It is quite a distance away. I just am merely a traveler. Oh, of course, where are my manners? I am Enshu. Okay. Extends a haughty to you.
Quite the charmer, ain't he?
He is very interesting.
I am
What
glad that you think so.
What brings both of you aboard? Business or pleasure?
Definitely pleasure for me, leaving that place behind.
Yes, much the same for myself. I am a traveler, so to stay in one place too long, not for me. I must see the world with my one good eye.
What is so appealing about Soulbade for you?
Just never been there before. Heard about it. Might as well travel while you're young and appreciate it.
Quite the lives you must live to travel to some place just because you heard about it. What with the dangerous times.
What's life without a little bit of danger?
Indeed.
I know many a good folk who would think a life without danger was a life worth living and a life well lived. But, to each their own.
Yeah. Nia shrugs. Never quite understood that attitude myself. But, like you say, different strokes for different folks. For instance, I think Enshu here has this custom of leaving a shirt wherever he goes. Strange, isn't it?
You jest, but there is truth in what you say. I go to Sobe for the fun, the travel, perhaps a bit of swordplay, but I hear the women are gorgeous.
Is it a common practice to leave shirts everywhere for your people?
And Aika asks that with a fairly straight face.
That's been my observation.
It is a common practice for one such as myself. Trophies, so to speak.
Reverse trophy.
Oh.
Eh,
And how did you two come to meet and to travel together?
It kind of looks at the Neo.
Oh, just a bit of a coincidence. We happen to be traveling at the same time, but we know each other from, just around.
Is there am I sensing a reverse trophy in this little gaggle?
Nia starts to laugh. No, I don't. Honestly, I don't think I quite like Enshu's attention. He seems a
Oh.
good chap, though.
Oh, you are too modest, Nia, but it is a platonic relationship.
Iked looks over to the first mate and looks like he's kind of pacing around.
Oh, I apologize for getting on those pleasantries. I apologize. If you could show us the quarters, then you could get back to whatever you were doing before this.
He smiles and he says, I'm so happy that you are enjoying each other's company. It's such a tight fit down here. I do apologize again. Come, look, in here. The other rooms are for the other high-paying customers. And he brings you down into a smaller chamber. I hope everybody can see everything. Probably not going to be able to see too much,
Gonna bully
especially
my
if you're
way.
human.
Can you remove the pillars? It looks like, just because they block off the vast majority of this area. The dynamic lighting.
Let me see. Yeah, this part in here is where you're pretty much just where you're going to be sleeping, your barracks and everything. Yeah, I'll try to
Okay.
get this out of the way. These pillars out of the way.
Yeah. They just like block off most of the map.
Blip,
Thank
blip.
you.
Oh yeah, that's so much better. Thank you so much.
Cool. So yeah, very small area. You would imagine most of the other passengers of the ship either have a room or they're at the northern part of the ship. I forgot the actual nautical term. What is it? The aft?
Starboard? I don't know.
It's the,
No, because ports
Isn't the four?
ports left, starboard's right. 4 is the front, I believe. And
yes,
aft is the rear, I think.
yes. So you guys are in the aft. So yeah, you're free to actually explore the ship down here. He says, Abana says, well, choose whatever bed you would like and make yourself at home. We will be having fish tonight. The cook will be preparing it later for you. All right, goodbye then.
Wait,
And he
the
waves.
first mate, Abana.
Ah,
Might I ask, do you have any common place for gathering? Perhaps drinking, merriment, things such as this that are always open?
oh, yes. Just on board the ship, up top, on the deck, well, we will be playing some music, drinking and always gambling later on this evening, right?
Oh, yes. I just wish to make sure. I am very much interested in the singing, dancing, and seducing.
Yeah, of course. And he nods and smiles and he waves. Okay, I see you later then. Bye-bye.
Oh,
Goodbye.
thank you.
And he takes off.
Aika kind of looks around the quarters and everyone kind of going around looking at, I guess, maybe a few beds there are. Just looks over at
Why this?
Haley, yeah.
Ah. Should we maybe bunk up then?
What time of the day is it?
It's still high star, so it's about noon. A little after maybe.
Bit early to be turning in.
Oh, no, I
She shakes her head, kind of embarrassed.
no, I don't mean now. This evening.
Oh yeah. It is tight in here. Good thing I brought soap.
That
Anyone wants to borrow it, they're welcome.
that would be much appreciated. I did not think of this.
Are you sure you wish to make that offer to me? You may have a very hairy soap.
Little hair never hurt anybody. I'll just rinse it off.
Heh.
Although, don't you usually just lick yourself?
You wound me. No, that would be absolutely abhorrent. Of course I shower and bathe. Of course I bathe. What do you mean?
I'm just teasing you, aren't you?
Ugh. You shame me in front of the company.
People only tease people that they like.
This is true.
You two are very close. That is
Uh,
very sweet.
Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
What's up?
The two that I'm with, so that would be Haley and Ika. What languages do y'all speak?
You can ask that in character.
Well, I figure we've traveled together a bit. We would know that about each other already.
You are speaking Cawthon, but I actually love what you guys are doing with your accents. Like Haley, I think is from Theed, which is like more of a northern place, and yeah, you guys are doing great actually with your accents. Garrus, you're from Veldoir, which is the land you're going back to. So, but you're all speaking Cawthon, is what the language is. Pretty much a common tongue, and it's the trader's tongue.
Okay.
It was formed from Tiaman, which was a slave tongue that was all kind of created together by all races back when everyone was slaves together. So
Kind
it
of
kind of
like
formed.
a Creole pidgin language.
Yeah, it kind of formed after everybody's together.
Okay.
There are like different, Raikanu is kind of like almost Chinese or Japanese, and stuff like that. But
Well,
but
I was just curious if there might be if like Garrus might know that like Haley and Ika both spoke, like he speaks Anath, like maybe something that they could communicate in private. I just wanted to check that real fast if that was
Oh
something.
yeah,
I speak Anath.
yeah, and that's an Elvish language.
No,
Okay.
I speak only Old and Latin and Koho, as well as
Okay.
Cawthon.
Well, okay. Garrus will lean in to Haley and be like, in Anath whisper, kind of, best to keep with each other, don't you think? And rather not leave either of y'all alone, nor leave anything of value alone with the strangers, if you know what I'm saying.
I believe this is true. I shall stay close to you, Garrus, and I'm counting on you to keep an eye on.
You could count on me for that, though. Frankly, just make sure if I don't know what your fancy is, but if the Catman starts hurrying his way up his skirts, make sure you don't let him in.
She kind of gives a light chuckle and looks at Enchu and shakes her head. No, I do not believe so. I'm not even sure how that works, if I'm honest.
Well, you see, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much.
Yes, but where does the cat mix in?
Frankly, I don't know either.
Haley switches to the common tongue. I believe I am going to go up on the deck. It is a bit clamped down here. I prefer the open air.
Hey, and I'll come along too. And as the two of us like kind of start walking off, if nothing's like gets in the way, Garrus is gonna start kind of singing softly to himself, being alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying goggles and muscles, alive, alive, oh. In far off a city where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone. And as he exits, he turns back and winks at Nia, and continues kind of whistling to himself as they walk.
Nia gives him a big grin and a wave as they head up.
I could just look slightly confused, letting the two of them kind of walk off, and at that point she just kind of takes a seat down there, taking her bone mace off of the side of her outfit, plopping it down on the table, and she's looking down at her hands and kind of just examining them.
Rogue, is that the brig that we passed with the orc in it?
Yes, there's some rooms down there. I believe the brig is actually the only door that's cracked open a little bit.
Right. When we passed, did we kind of get a peek at him anyway? We know that that's the brig or not?
No, you can tell that that's the brig, but you didn't get a peek in there from your vantage point. You would have to go over there.
Okay.
So, you with the mace, you are dressed in religious wear, yes? It is some sort of symbolism.
Yes, I am a Champlain of Beogard. I've come to kind of spread my gifts across the land to assist anyone who needs it. It is my duty to protect and to guard, to make sure those who cannot protect themselves have me to protect them.
A noble cause indeed. What is your god Beogard, you said? What is his circle? What is it that he preaches to his followers? I am curious. I have not heard this god before.
You have to give me a moment because I have to read up on that.
Oh, that's fine. Just testing you.
Oh man. Rogue, can you give me a quick rundown because I can't look at the book?
Yeah, sorry, protection, guardian. He is the god of justice. All must pass through his gates and take judgment.
Gotcha. She'll be like, yes, he's god of justice, of judgment, of protection.
Nia makes a grimace at the justice comment and that's sounds really interesting. What you think about the prisoner? What you think he did?
I am not sure, but I am assuming that he is going to get exactly what he deserves if he is in shackles as such.
Well, my experience is people often get things that they don't deserve, and some people get things they don't deserve, and some people don't get things they deserve. If you know what I mean? It's a tough world out there.
Yes, that is
Yes.
why I'm going out to attempt to right this wrong.
I kind of want to go talk to him.
Yeah, there are two sides to every story for someone in shackles, but perhaps you should leave him well alone. He
Yeah,
is all under the care of the ones who are transporting us, and I would rather not be thrown overboard, much as I enjoy swimming.
I'm not suggesting a jailbreak. I just want to talk to him.
Yeah, the captain seemed like a stern man, though I am one to play jokes on such individuals.
Oh, well, I don't see a captain down here. And Nia starts walking over to toward the brig. She's gonna peek, see what she can see in there.
Okay. Yeah, this is the doorway over there. And you can see it's slightly opened, the wooden door. And you can peek inside a little bit if you get closer to it. You can see some candlelight coming from underneath this door here. Do you want to kind of sneak up there, or do you want to go? It's this one over here.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the other one. Okay. I'm trying
So
to.
you can see the cage.
Not from where I am, really.
Go up a little bit more.
Um,
Right here.
There
There you go. Okay, so
Okay, there you go.
you can barely see him. Yeah, it's dark in there. And when you go in there, it almost scares you a little bit by the sound of his grunt when you come up there, and he's and you can hear chains and stuff, and you can only see like the hint of his eyes glowing a little bit because your vision is so bad, you being a human and all. Inshu, when you come peek, I think you can see a lot better your twilight vision.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the orc is sitting on a bench inside this cell. His hands are chained. He's got bones kind of piercing through his face and through his arms and through his parts of his legs. And he looks up to regard all of you and grunts.
Oi, what you in for? What they got you in for, mate?
This is not a good idea.
Blood. He speaks like really horrible Cawthon, you know, and he says, I Gorak Fogbane. And he hits his chest.
Oi, Gorak. That's a good name. Strong name. My name's Nia.
He starts to smile at you, and it's kind of a creepy grin, toothy grin, and he says, Naya.
You got it. First try.
He says, you are all slaves.
Sometimes feels that way. But what you mean by it?
He leans forward a little bit and says, Blood Moon comes soon. Blood Moon makes slaves of you all.
Okay.
I go.
That's
Go ahead.
strange. So where they taking you?
They take me to die in Soulbade.
Why
They
just...
think
Sorry to interrupt, mate. Keep going.
they take me to die.
Why don't they just kill you here?
They get paid good money for my head.
Oh, bounty. I hear you. Well, that's rough, mate. How's he, bound in there?
You see that his hands are chained but manacles, and his feet are also manacled. Other than that, nothing. No other ties. He's not like tied down to the wall or the floor or anything.
He's just got his hands manacled together and his feet manacled together.
Yeah, and he's sitting on a bench inside this cage, which is locked, of course.
Well, to be quite frank, you seem a mite crazed in the head, but I hate to see anyone in a cage. And she takes off her hip flask that she's got whiskey I've actually got on my character sheet. And she'll kind of toss it in there and scoot it for him. She'll say, hope this makes your journey a little bit better.
What are you doing?
Well, he don't seem like a normal, sane person, but like I say, I don't like seeing people in cages, and if he's going to die, he might as well have a drink before he dies.
This.
What's a blood moon?
That's my question. What?
You don't know? Seemed like a kind of priesty thing to say to me.
And Aiko will kind of pop her head.
You notice a figure coming towards you guys. It's Filgan Thorn, a big, dark-skinned human, and he has a pistol, like hand bow, in his hand that he loves to carry around. He's the quartermaster. He was the one that took took the scrolls of Aika and the others. Kind of who you paid to get on board, and he steps towards you guys out of the darkness here. And Filgan walks up and he says, Don't talk to the prisoner. He's bad news.
Yes, good advice, I think.
I apologize.
Yeah, he was
Okay,
just
looking at me.
so chatty. He just was just talking and talking. We were just walking by. We're on our way up to the deck. Okay, so we'll see you around. What did he do, by the way?
He murders men, women, children. A bounty on his head. We're taking him back to Soulbade. To be
Nice.
executed for his heinous crimes.
Well, that sounds like a bad sort.
He
Alright,
just
well,
kind of peers at you, you know, like studying you, and Filgan never seems to smile.
Mr. Thorn, this one here mentions passing something about a blood moon. Do you know anything along these lines?
The blood moon, yes. The blood moon is in a few days. The hunter's moon. I wouldn't pay much attention to whatever he spits out. It's filth.
Of
He's been promising death to all of us.
course.
that's an easy problem. We're all going to die sooner or later.
Exactly.
Well, as chatty as you seem, I had better make my way up.
He nods. And you see he goes over and he stands kind of guard now at the gate and points his crossbow at Garak and says, "Shut your mouth." Are you guys all going above deck now?
Nia is.
Okay.
Aika will look over at Enshu and shrug a bit.
Might as well go up, I guess.
Yes, I very much wish to mingle with those above deck. I had my eye on a few.
Well, good luck, I guess, talking to them.
Oh, my dear Sue, Enshu does not require luck. But you and your god have my thanks for the wishing of it.
Of course. Aika's a little bit confused, but she'll kind of go along with it and nod her head and smile.
And as you get up there, you can hear some music playing above deck, and you see the others up there as well. You can see that closer to the front of the ship, Azure Anna is her name, and she's dressed in blue and white and kind of plumy hat, you know, and carrying an instrument. She sits up there playing along with Golan, who you believe to be the navigator. They're all up here on the top of the front of the ship here. It seems like they're having some fun and sharing some drinks and stuff like that. And you're free to go up there and join them if you wish.
I think Haley's gonna be on the aft of the ship, kind of trying to stay away from people and keep to her own.
Has Nia, who is always on the lookout for these things, has she noticed Haley's... She's made a couple comments in the little chat screen about how protective she is about this pack of hers. She moves it out of the way. Can I roll perception to see if Nia's noticed anything about that?
Yes.
All right. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He exploded there, I think. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, not that she's planning to steal it or anything, but she it's definitely caught her notice, and she's really curious. So she's gonna stay near, kind of keep her eye on Haley and try to look for an opportunity to chat her up a little bit.
Yeah, because
Does Garrus notice Nia kind of hovering nearby?
I would say so. If you guys even turn in that direction, she'll try to kind of include herself in your group by like waving and smiling and
yeah, Ika's actually kind of
heading over.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. I was done.
Yeah, Ika's kind of wandered off. She's just with the earlier conversation between Haley and Garrus, not really understanding them. She's kind of like, oh, okay, they're doing their own thing, and just kind of moved on from there. Going about the ship, just looking around, very, very curious about what's going on. She's never really been on a ship before, so really interested in what everyone's doing.
Good seas to you, Miss. Was it Nia? Was it Mia?
Oh yeah, it's Noya.
Noya, that's a fine name for a bonny lass. How's the sailing finding?
I love the sea. Every time I'm near it, it just feels like a new beginning.
Do you
Aye.
travel on the sea often?
Oh, not too often, but a few times before.
Just when you need a new beginning, eh?
You could put it that way, I guess. Don't we all sometimes need a new start?
Garrus kind of shrugs and says, "Me, I find whenever I start anew, I end up right back where I was before. Can't really escape the things you run from, I feel."
I think maybe it's more like can't leave yourself behind, no matter how far you run. At least that seems to be my problem anyway. But hey,
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to see, making sure you're not too sick. I know that my first time aboard, I was a bit ill.
Oh, I have traveled on the seas quite enough. That my stomach has gotten used to. I simply wish to get to Soulbade and rest there and interact there, but on the ship I just wait for time to pass by.
Well, forgive me for saying so, but that ain't no way to live. You can't let a single day pass you by. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring. If you aren't having fun today, and you die tomorrow, what have you got?
She kind of looks you up and down. This is true. However, it is simply how I have chosen to live my life in comfort.
Well, to each his own, I guess, but listen to that music up there.
I can hear it.
Don't get cold to you just a little bit.
It is very beautiful. However, I can enjoy it from back here rather than right up next to it. I encourage you, please go and enjoy. Spend time with all of these strangers and dance and sing. It is just not my way.
Oh, bit shy then. All right. Well, I won't force you. Of course, I doubt I could. But, no, if you decide to join everyone up there, you've got a friend. That goes for you too, mate. And she turns to Garrus.
Garrus just kind of smiles and nods.
I thank you.
All right, then.
As she walks away and like it's a few feet away, Garrus calls out, Miss Naya. So you never quite said, is it yourself you're trying to run from or something else?
Well, there's always something. She just shrugs. I won't bore you with my sad tie.
Good dancing to you.
Oh. Feel free to join me. And she'll head up. Try to join everybody else.
Plenty
And up
of
there.
friendly people.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just turned to Garrus. Plenty of friendly people, it seems.
Ain't nothing wrong with being friendly, but you know, when times are trying, it doesn't hurt to be on your guard. We should speak to Aika. Make sure we're all on the same page as.
I think so, but perhaps you should go and speak with her. I do not wish to mingle with too many people and leave my bag too open.
Might be worthwhile to try and find a place to hide it. You can't hover over it the entire time.
4 days for something apparently this important. I would prefer to keep it near me at all times. Especially with as many people that are on this ship, there are just too many eyes. Someone is always watching.
Oh, okay. Okay, lass, just remember you've got at least 2 friends who could lighten the load should you need be. But I'll go speak to our Miss Sue.
Very well.
And with that, Garrus kind of tries to make his way over towards Aika.
Ika's just, again, looking down at the water, hands kind of clasped around the edge of the boat. She occasionally looks down at her hands and lifts them up, giving them careful examination with her thumb.
Garrus comes up behind her and taps her on the shoulder.
Ika kind of startles for a moment and turns around to face you with wide eyes.
Garrus puts out a hand and says, "Excuse me, Miss Sue, but thought you could use a dance partner."
I'm not one to dance, usually.
Oh, come on, it'll do you good. It'll help you develop the sea legs.
I mean, she looks out to the sea again, kind of feeling the...
At this point, Garrus grabs her hand gently, not aggressively, but kind of pulls her into the dance.
She's a bit shocked. Oh, okay, let's dance.
So yeah, I'm imagining something like the Titanic dancing scene, you know, kind of lots of spinning and all that, but as they're doing, so Garrus kind of leans in and says, "Lots of friendly people on this ship, but best we keep counsel to ourselves, don't you think?"
Yes. Ika's attempting to focus on dancing and balancing at the same time, looking down at her feet a lot, barely looking up at Garrus. Yes, anything about the package is between us.
Might have to keep watches at night to make sure that one of us is always awake to keep an eye on it.
Of course, I will make sure to stay awake as long as I can.
Oh, we'll divide it up evenly. No need that only one person need to lose sleep over it. But our lodging situation isn't exactly cordial to security.
Unfortunately, it's not. That's just to make do with the assets that we have acquired. No.
No. What do you make of them folk?
Oh, they seem pleasant enough, though Nia does like to attempt to trick with words, at least when it came to the quartermaster. She wanted to talk to the creature down there.
Oh, really? What did she speak to it?
Yes, gave it a beverage and everything. She was asking there's some sort of blood moon coming in the next
next few days the quartermaster told us not to worry about it, but when she was even minorly probed by the quartermaster about what she was doing, she avoided the questions, said she was going upstairs, tried to evade any questions that was going on. She might be one to watch out for. I am not sure.
Hey, sounds like we need to keep an eye open. But no reason why we can't have a little fun while doing so. And with that, Ica or Gareth does a little like spin of Ica.
She's very clumsy in the feet when it comes to this. The kind of her sea legs not developing does not help in her dancing skills.
And go ahead and make a dexterity check if you don't have the dancing skill.
Apparently she's better than Garrus, though.
It's about, you know what, I'm gonna say what every person I've ever danced with has always said. It's more about being confident enough to dance than being good at it. AKA, I'm terrible at dancing.
Yes, like stumbles a bit at first, but eventually kind of uses the motion of the ship to kind of aid in her dancing skills, showing Garrus up a little bit. And her usual serious and slightly confused expression kind of turns into more of a smile as she dances around the ship.
You can see Bolgar, this one here, is a loud barbarian type guy, bald head, tattoos all over his face. He's drinking from a big tankard. And he's like, ha ha! He starts laughing as Inshu kind of sweeps Ayla up as she stumbles over his foot and almost steps on his tail, but he's able to save her. Actually starts to make her laugh, you know. So a lot of them are pretty festive up here, and like they're getting along. And Captain Tanis is up there on the front of the boat. He's looking over his shoulder at the pleasantries, but keeps looking back out into the water. This guy here seems to not smile about anything, but heads below deck. You guys can see up on the crow's nest as well. There is an elven female. She's been sitting up there with her bow and her slung over her shoulder, you know. And, she has a spyglass as well. She randomly peers out over the waters. Many different types of characters on the ship, and you do have time to meet some of them all, especially during the pleasantries. Does anybody want to get any of the drink, alcohol?
Nia will.
Ica abstains.
Alright. Okay.
I'll get one for myself and my dancing partner.
Nia's also gonna be dancing too. She'll try to do it, kind of include some acrobatic tricks into dancing. Really not dancing with other people, just kind of like dancing for herself.
Okay. Go ahead and do a dexterity check.
Can I roll acrobatics or just...
Oh yeah, you could do that if you want.
Okay.
Doing some cartwheels on the ship.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh,
Not too bad.
nice.
Flips and tricks.
You see, you're right next to this guy here, Gaff. He seems a little slow. Maybe, his teeth are a little off, you know. He's definitely the piratey type guy. He looks over and he starts clapping when you do that, though. Having a good time and drinking. He's like, "You're magnificent!"
She does a little flourishy, bow, and thank you, good sir. And this is good swill here. And she takes another drink. Are you gonna be dancing too?
He comes over. If you dance with me. And then he starts to dance.
Okay.
He's going to do a little jig in front of you.
She'll do that kind of a dance with him. She's not going to do any, like, touching dancing.
Right. Oh, he's not so bad. He starts cutting it up.
She'll watch whatever dance he's doing and just kind of try to imitate the style of it.
He claps his hands and jiggles his feet around.
Just do some spins, you know, in place, doing the jig with her feet. Oi, what's your name?
He says, I'm Gaff.
You look like
Gaff is my name.
an experienced sailor, Gaff. You been aboard this ship long?
Oh, yes. 2 years. I'm the cobbler.
The cobbler?
Yeah, I work all the wood. I do repairs. I'm very important.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that. Well, you're a good dancer, Gaff.
He says, thank you. Bogart pushes him out of the way. He says, you can see he kind of like picks on him a little bit. Give me a drink, Gaff. Ha 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 ha. And he says, this lady here wants a man.
Oh, well, I wasn't quite done with my dance. And trust me, there's enough of me to go around. And she's gonna just kind of start dancing around both of them. She doesn't like bullies.
Yeah. He's just smiling and watching it. You can tell he's like totally drunk. You notice the Dwarven brothers are up here as well. This guy here, Garrett, he's trying to get somebody to play dice with him and do some gambling. And Golan goes in with him on some dice. So they start rolling some dice over there. This guy here is he appears to be wearing dark robes, kind of really pale flesh, gray hair. He doesn't seem to be enjoying the pleasantries that much as well. And you see him, he heads off on below deck, disappears.
Okay. I can keep going, or does someone else want to take over the camera?
Enshu is single-minded at this time, so mine's easy. Yeah, and she's essentially going to try to get Ayla to go back to her room with him.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, and that's pretty much it.
That's his move for right now.
Mhm.
Can we take 5 minutes real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna grab some coffee. And we can pause it, I guess.
Yep.
Like, thank you, Vladimir.
Always ready.
Ready.
All right. So continuing, pretty much throughout the remainder of the evening, everybody's going to be, dancing, drinking, enjoying pleasantries and gambling. And you can pretty much choose the things that you want to be doing and where you want to fall asleep. But yeah, I'm not trying to cut you guys short or anything at all. So, Ayla, you notice, has been having fun with Inshu. And you can tell Inshu that it might take some time to complete your quest with Ayla. She sits down with you, upon a barrel and starts to tell you about the quest that she was on with her love, and you're noticing this guy over here, Roth, tends to keep an eye on her. I don't know if you see that guy here.
Oh yes, it's hard to miss that mountain.
Yeah, he's a big barbarian type. And they both, you find out she's from Theed as well. And Roth is with her, actually. A traveling companion. They were both on a quest together, but her husband died on this quest. And she pretty much tells you the sad story. But the reason your mission is going to be so tough is because you can tell she's still totally caught up with him, you know. So you are not sure if it's going to be this evening that you would be able to complete this quest. But you
How
are
long are we on
making
the
your
ship for?
4 days.
Challenge accepted.
And
And she will lend his ear to Ayla, being genuinely saddened by it, because he is a laborer of love in a sense, and he kind of just shakes his head. Oh man, she's way. Oh god, I'm dwarfed by these people. It's ridiculous. This is silly, but fine. And she just kind of shakes his head. Truly, it is sad to hear such a tale. I am sorry you must live it. I have lost those I care about too, but nothing so deep, so meaningful as that. Again, you have my condolences once more.
she kind of stares off over the waters and says, he was a good warrior, and he was a good mate. And you can tell, like, her eyes are all swelling up with tears and stuff as the music plays on.
And she will...
Bolgar says she wants a real woman. Don't you, lass? You know, and takes another swig of his ale, looking over at Naya.
I want a real woman. Is that
She
what
wants-
you are?
She wants... Gaff starts laughing. And then he gets embarrassed and he walks off back over to the party. Gaff says, he's always mean to me.
I don't like that type. No reason for meanness. This world's got enough meanness. Anyway, Gaff, thanks for the dance. I'll be seeing you around. I might go look in on this game over here.
You're welcome. It was nice to meet you.
You too. You have a good one. She'll head over to the dance. She doesn't really want to give Gaff any of the wrong ideas by hanging out too long.
Right.
She's gonna just kind of listen to any dice game that's going on over there, any of the conversation.
Yeah. Garrett is telling a story about some money he lifted when you walk over there to Golan. Garrett, this fellow here, wearing a cloak, knife cut, short brown hair. Not a bad looking human. And he seems quite a bit of the roguish type, with a blade on his belt. And he says, you want in? Looks over at you.
What's the stakes?
1 copper. And the
What is-
equivalent is 5 bones, or depending on what you have, bits. I think you have bits. 5 bits, so it's pretty steep.
Pretty steep. Too rich for my blood. Think I'll just watch.
All right, and what is Ika and the others doing?
Ika, once we finished a dance with Garrus. She'll eventually be like,
Okay, thank you for the dance, Garrus. I appreciate it, but a little bit winded now.
and she seems a bit unsure of continuing to dance. Not really tired, just more, not into it.
And you notice Caitlin shows up. She walks over there. And she says, looks over to you, Ica. And she says, so you're leaving your home? She's got control of the wheel there.
Yes, it's the first time that I am leaving my home, but I feel like this is the best choice for me going forward.
She says, good, that place stinks.
Oh,
Ica will be taken a bit back by that.
you believe so? I have never seen a problem with the place.
Tristan, the guy next to her, looks at Caitlin and then he looks over at you. He says, don't mind her. She doesn't have any manners. Caitlin says, I tell people the truth and I tell it how it is. Tristan looks at you in kind of like an apologetic manner and just walks away. And Caitlin begins talking again. It does, it stinks. The whole place stunk.
Oh, and as far as I know, many different smells come from many different places. Maybe your nose just isn't used to said place.
She looks over at Garrus and says, and where are you from?
Well, near the woods outside the Crimson Citadel.
Yeah. That's a dangerous place. Are you a dangerous man?
I think not. But who knows? What the dangers in this life are often so hard to predict, aren't they not?
She looks you up and down and she says, it's too bad. I like dangerous men. One that can't beat me with a sword is not worth having.
Are you attempting to mate with my friend here?
I'm always looking.
Oh, well, I believe that you should keep looking, Caitlin.
Ica will smile. Politely.
Wow, no wingmanning here. Okay.
You must stay focused, Garrus. There's no need to get caught up in the desires of the flesh.
You can see Caitlin, she kind of snorts, goes back to steering the wheel. Abana walks by you guys. Are you having fun yet?
Oh, of course. First, my Tabana, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, we'll be having some fish soon. I'll just go down below deck and fetch it.
Fabulous, thank you.
Garrus is gonna... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Garrus is gonna try and get a beer and climb up in... Or 2 beers and climb up to the crow's nest.
Okay. Yeah, you snag some. You can tell by the time you're getting up there, Phelan, the elf scout that's up at the top there, she looks like she's annoyed by your presence when you're getting closer to her. She says there's not much room up here.
Just thought you could use a drink and wanted to see the view, if I may. It's been a number of years since I've seen the ocean.
She says, thank you. And she reaches down and takes the mug from you and kind of helps you up there. You can see out over the waters and see it's pretty captivating. The two suns are starting to go down over the horizon. Pretty soon it'll be dusk, and the suns of this world, there are one is more like ours, and then the other is kind of a bluish tint to it. So some of the sunsets are pretty amazing, kind of like a purplish color. So soon, pretty good time to be up there, I guess, to look out over the waters.
Garrus sits quietly for a second and sips his beer, and then asks Phelan, "Does it ever really get old seeing the endless blue kissed by the fiery skies like?"
This is my favorite place. It's away from the others, away from the noise.
Just the smell of the sea and the sound of the waves, eh?
She says yes. Alone. And she keeps sipping the ale that you brought to her.
Well, you don't need to tell me a third time, but enjoy the ale and good watching. And Garrus starts climbing down.
You can tell, like, she looks almost apologetic about her attitude, but she keeps stern with it, And she says, "Thank you. Farewell." And about that time, you notice that Abana and
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. When I was up there, could I have done just a perception check from Garrus to kind of see what the the ocean was looking like, what the any clouds on the horizon, anything standing out?
oh, for sure, yeah.
Maybe would a wilderness survival check be okay, just to kind of get a lay of it?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can do that. It seems, as far as like a weather sense type of thing, that it seems like it should be a clear sailing night. That everything should be fine. There are different phases of the moon, and the moon right now it'll be nearing to full, in a few days.
It's
Which is
waxing at the moment.
sometimes called the blood moon, and the moon in this world is broken, like four large chunks, kind of hanging off of the moon. Ages ago, there was a time called it was the age of falling, and a large object shattered the moon, and it created kind of an apocalyptic era, an endless winter. Aged long ago, and the moon is still kind of shattered and has little remnants of that time, still trailing along behind the moon. So, and of course you guys would know this, but that's what you get to look forward to. And Abana brings out with another man, robed, cloak over his head. He's got red hair, red beard. He's kind of quiet, keeps a stern look on his face all the time. He was on deck earlier. His name is Vorg, and he brings out some fish too, along with Abana, and everybody serves up fish on the plates with some bread, some cheese for everyone to eat, and they pass around the plates. And everybody continues to, play music and talk around the fire. But if you're all finished, you can go below deck and call it a night, or you can continue to stay on board and party if you wish.
Yeah, will eventually, kind of when everything's like all the food served, gets towards nighttime, she'll walk back to Haley and standing on her own.
Ailey, I am not sure if you are ready to settle down for the evening, but either way, whenever you are, I am ready as well.
I think that is a good idea. I am not sure how we want to go about watching things
I
so that we can all get rest.
Gareth suggested kind of a 3-part shift. I do not mind taking the first and last, if need be.
You want to take the first and the
Or
last?
maybe we can divide it into 4. Just want to make sure the 2 of you are safe, yes?
Thank you very much, but I think it would be quite fine if I take the last.
Okay.
Then I can just come on the deck and keep an eye on things while you two sleep.
If that is what you wish, so be it.
Thank you for the offer, but your rest is important too, and I want to make sure that you get enough of it.
Thank you, Haley. Yes. It's very kind.
Thank you. But if you're going to take the first watch, then I might as well go and get some rest.
Of course.
Please let Garrus know the plan.
I will. I will be down momentarily, just in case. And Ika makes her way back over, finding Garrus.
Haley's gonna head down, but not like fall asleep or anything until Ika comes down.
Finds Garrus, and Haley and I will be downstairs, starting to get rest. I will take the first watch, if you will take the second.
Hey, I'll come down and make sure to get some sleep too.
Alright. And I go give him a wave and go downstairs, get set up.
All right. And Garrus, you said you were going down too?
Yeah, I'm also going down.
Okay. And Inshu, you hang out with her for a little while?
Yeah, until she would call it a night. Whenever she was done being around all this rowdiness, I would bid her adieu and then either go on partying or eventually go down to where our room is, probably rather noisily. Kind of enter the door and, or kind of get bang along the walls, maybe drink a bit too much.
All right. What about Naya?
Naya would have stayed up definitely later than the 3 others, but not too late. She's been watching the gamblers and trying to figure out who's winning the most and who seems to have enough that they're not upset when they lose. Basically kind of some information gathering that she thinks might come in useful later, but she's not going to try anything tonight. And so she'll bid a good night, probably a good hour or so after everybody else is headed down, and then head down below deck.
Can you make a perception check?
Sure.
All right. You notice Garrett is kind of raking in. He also plays with and Maston, the 2 dwarf brothers, who are definitely they're funny to listen to, bickering all the time back and forth. But they lose a few coins and then they're out and they continue drinking to each other. But they go down below deck later as well to their own room. It seems that Azure Anna, who didn't get to talk much to anybody, but she sang a few songs and mostly happy music, played, along with Golan, the navigator. You didn't talk to many other people other than that, I guess. Gaff said a few more words, Bulgar was boisterous and loud, and but everybody seemed, pretty happy that the evening. Nothing else went on.
Did the captain pretty much stay at the helm the whole time, or was he social with his crew?
He came by and nodded to others, knocked his mug against other people's, and but other than that, yeah, he was in his deck, in his room in here, if you can see that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was in his quarters most of the time, and he would sometimes come. He came out and whispered to Golan a few times, but that was it. Probably coarse stuff, and yeah, nothing else was talked about or mentioned at all. So by the end of the evening, who has the bronze amulet again?
I do. Haley.
And you're the first to go to sleep?
Yeah. And then
Okay.
Yeah, I'm beside her, kind of watching.
Okay. You notice that this room here, I kind of labeled the door because we're kind of... This room here is the room of the two brothers. The craftsman, you would have noticed him. The guy on deck, he was a half-elf. He had the hammer and some craftsman tools. That was his room there. There's a couple of candles lit in under the doors of these rooms. They've been pretty quiet. And Caitlin and Azure Anna. Caitlin is the snobby woman that was at the helm. And the bard, Azure Anna, seem to be sharing this room here. Other than that, that's all you've noticed so far for the evening. And Ika, do you tinker with that bronze amulet at all, or do you want to keep it away? Or Haley?
no, I'm just kind of keeping it in my bag, and then I keep my bag on me, and then I'm just holding it close as I sleep.
Okay. All right, and if everybody's cool with it, we'll pass to the next day.
Yep.
Or in case anything happens that night.
I think Matt needs light on her token.
I'm blind. Well, I've got stuff here, but it's like I don't have directional. Like I have light on Enshu, but like tiny light around me.
Nia stole my hammock.
Where are you?
That was my hammock.
No hammock for you.
Unbelievable.
Do you not get a hammock?
I should, but not the one I claimed. Nia taking my hammock.
It was just a joke. She moves over.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Matt, you're good?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good.
You can see? Okay. So that night passes without any incident, and the next day comes. When you wake up and it seems like some confusion, and then shows up down there to wake anybody else up. Closer to the, I suppose, who it was in, you guys were taking watch?
Yeah,
And who was last watch?
me, Haley.
Okay. Filgan pops in down there and says, have you seen Bulgar anywhere?
Who is Bulgar?
He was kind of the loud barbarian that was making an ass of himself earlier, the night before.
And have I seen him at all?
No, you have not.
Sorry, can't say that I have.
I think he was out finding me a real woman.
He looks at you and kind of tries to soak that in, what you were talking about, but he says, he's missing. And then
How
he
do you
turns
go
around.
missing on a ship? Does he sleepwalk?
Yeah, and he like took off. And he's shouting to others, knocking on doors. You can hear him like waking people up.
Oh, he was pretty drunk. Might have fallen overboard.
Would not be good of him to have done so. Swimming is hard enough. Swimming drunk, very difficult.
It would be quite a shame. Such a silly loss of life.
Indeed.
Seems an unlucky way to start our trip, that's for sure.
Seems like living life to the fullest as you were trying to get me to do yesterday is not always beneficial. I would rather live much longer.
Getting that drunk ain't living your life to the fullest. That's just setting yourself up for a major hangover.
All the fun in moderation.
Exactly. Moderate it. But you gotta have some still.
Oh, maybe we should assist in looking for this man.
Aika looks a little bit sleepy, a bit irritated being woken up.
He
Well,
was
I
a fellow
guess.
traveler at the end of the day. I see no reason why we should not try to help.
Exactly.
Let us get up. And Aika struggles and get out of a hammock and stands up, rocking back and forth slightly before steadying herself.
Maybe check above deck. I'm not sure.
Oh, we did.
Also, could everybody make me a body check?
Oh man, my character's hungover
I didn't
again.
drink.
Strongest boy.
Aika is feeling some seasickness pretty bad. As you get up out of your hammock, you can feel your stomach churn like, oh, you're gonna vomit.
Yeah, Aika just kind of stumbles, pushing past Nia and Chu and running upstairs to the top of the deck.
Also, we lost Lucy.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I just texted him to see what happened. He may have lost power or something.
Mm-hmm.
Should we
Okay.
pause?
Yeah, you want to pause real quick?
We can.
Yep, Aika.
And yeah, a lot of people are frantically looking about and wondering what's going on, looking for any signs. Captain Tan's pretty pissed off, and he's questioning Faye over there. Yeah, she seems kind of defeated, a look on her face, and he's angry, but not so much at her. He's just seems like how could you miss him? You know, you're a great scout. You did not see anything? I did not. I saw nothing. Tristan says he saw him stumble away drunk, away from the gambling. Garrett agrees. Yes, he was gambling with us later on the evening, and he stumbles away. Everyone starts to search for clues.
Aika's kind of glued to the railing of the boat, just kind of bringing up the contents of last night's dinner, looking very pale, hanging on for dear life, knuckles white, and just staring down at the sea as she goes, trying not to throw up again.
Thank you, my new friend. All is well.
It does not look well. Do you need me to hold back your hair while you vomit?
That would be mm, nice.
Very good. Enshu has been on such journeys as this before, when there's a bit too much merriment or ship shaking, and all of a sudden, all the fish goes back into the sea.
With that, I could kind of lit the mention of fish.
Let it out. It is nothing to be embarrassed
I
of.
didn't even drink.
Well, it is a good thing that you did not. You would be doing even more, and you would be dehydrated.
Naya is going to look around. She really thinks he probably just fell over the ship drunk, but just in case, she'll start walking the ship and seeing if there's any signs of a struggle, see if she can see anything that's been kind of put in disarray, any blood on the deck or anything.
Yeah, you check. Go ahead and make a perception check or observation skill if you have that. Specific
think she
parts of the
does.
ship. And you're looking around, and there's no trace of this guy whatsoever. There's no blood, nothing like that. You notice the skies are kind of dark this morning. The prisoner, you can hear one of them say that as well. The prisoner, he's still there. He's still there. The quartermaster, Filgan Thorn, he shows up. He says, the prisoner is still there. He says, I'm keeping guard on him, keeping watch. And he goes back below deck. Everybody's at a loss. Nobody can find him anywhere. You notice Maston comes over towards Ike and says, you are sick. I have an herb that can help you.
Echo will nod with her. Her face is extremely pale.
Yes, that would help very much. Thank you.
Yeah, he comes over and it smells kind of like a peppermint type of herb. And he says, just chew on this and it'll help with it.
Thank you.
And Echo will take the leaf with her shaky hands and put it in her mouth, start chewing.
He says, are you a chaplain?
I am. Yes.
He says, well met then. He says, I am a Templar. Different. Just the same.
Same goals.
Miles. He says, both of the Pantheon of the Light anyway. He shows you his amulet, it's just a big stone like hammer, and Stone Father protects us. He says, and I see your Beogard, your holy symbol.
Yeah, she'll place his hand on
Yes. Well met. My name is Eka too.
He says, it's very good to meet you. And Captain comes over to you. Did you see this man, Bolgar? Barbarian lad.
it.
He was kind of an asshole.
I think we hurt him last night, right? Didn't you?
Yes, I saw him trying to flirt with my friend, though getting rebuked because of his drunkenness. After that, I must admit I was too focused on companionship. But I do have some concerns regarding something I heard yesterday.
Yes?
Well, I do not wish to expose anyone, but I will say that that prisoner attempted to chat us up when we were passing to come to the gathering. He spoke ominous words, and this does not seem like coincidence. I am not one that believes in such things.
These are the ravings of a madman. He's doomed to die soon.
Yes, madmen and their ravings, often discounted, but when men are going to die, what would they have to lose to cause misfortune to any others, yes?
He seems like he's thinking about your words, weighing them carefully, and he says, well, there isn't much we can do about it. He is tied in the brig. He is chained. I don't think he poses any threat to us.
Yes, and you are the captain. I trust in your judgment, but I would offer my hand in this. I am a swordmaster. I would wish to, with your permission of course, to assist in patrolling during this night upcoming, to ensure that this was just a isolated incident.
Ah, yes, of course. I will tell Thorn that you can help him tonight. Thank you very much for volunteering for this.
Many blessings, Captain. It is my pleasure to assist my fellow beings, I should say.
He smiles and he says, well, it'll be good to have another pair of, another eye on the matter.
Quiet.
As Neo is patrolling the deck, she starts to remember how what was the name of the missing man? I'm sorry, I forget. Anyway,
It was Bulgar.
Yeah.
Bolgar, yeah.
Bulgar, that's it.
How he seemed to bully Gaff. And so she kind of does some circling around, does some discreet observation of Gaff, tries to see if he has any scratches on his arms that seem fresh or anything, even just his demeanor.
You do notice, you already did a good perception check, so you do notice that he does like avert your eyes. Sorry, Emma, I'll put you back on there. When you look over at him and he does kind of look away very quickly, and he seems kind of shy, as where he was happy and jovial yesterday. His demeanor is a little bit changed, and he's going about his duties and stuff like that, but he does look a little weird.
Okay. After that, Naya will try to walk up to him. Oi, Gaff. Strange thing that Bulgar going missing, eh?
He says, yes. It is very strange. I must say, he was never very nice to me, though.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the nice type. Not sure he'll be missed much, but still seems a bit of a shame.
He looks away.
When was last time you saw him?
He says, last night I saw him. He was gambling. The others and drinking.
Mm.
And then he was gone. I think he went to go to the bathroom, relieve himself. And then he was gone. I don't know. I must get to my duties, though. And you see him, he's got like a bucket of water, and he keeps looking away, though. looking down at kind of disappears.
Oh no! Never mind, Haley was in the water. Okay. Mia's probably gonna go try to talk to Enshu after that conversation. Him being the person she knows the best. Boy, Enshu, can I borrow you for a second?
You can borrow my time, but my body belongs to me. Yes, I digest. What is it?
So, I don't know if you noticed last night, but this Bulgar fella, he likes to give that Gaff, and she points over to Gaff, a bit of a hard time. I got the impression that it kind of happened on the regular, and I was just talking to him now. He just seems a bit odd about the whole thing. Just a feeling I have. Just thought maybe we should keep that in mind. Maybe he might be a bit unbalanced.
Perhaps. He looks like a sorry sort who was not born with looks or charisma. Yes, I will keep my good eye on him. I've already propositioned the captain to have me as a volunteer patrolman for the next night. I will make sure I keep my rounds about him.
Well, you want any company, let me know.
Oh, perhaps, but even with my wounds, I am always confident in my blade.
All right then. Still, keep your eye on that fella.
Yes, I will keep my eye and the ears on him. Must not be too careful. Even the ones who seem the most harmless end up being dangerous.
I think that's often true. Still waters run deep and all.
Agreed.
But I, for one, ain't gonna be turning my back at the railing.
Absolutely. Yes. I will look out for you, of course.
I appreciate that. Oh, well, you know, these new folk, points to Aiku, all those, where's Haley?
Haley's at the front of the ship.
Okay. Some of the others, they seem a bit, I don't know what's the word, naive. Kind of feel bad. Maybe keep an eye on them too.
Oh, I do not know about naive, but perhaps not as learned. And people being shy or not understanding things, they have their reasons, of course. But I agree. They do not seem like a bad sort. I protect any who request it with my blade. And I will continue to do so.
All right then. And she gives him a little salute and I think she's gonna go try to talk to Haley again.
You notice Haley's, up at the front of the ship.
Why, Haley? How you holding up?
Hello, I'm doing quite alright. Just trying to keep an eye on everything, you know? How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. I'm still above the water, still breathing.
That is true.
So, we may not see eye to eye on everything, but I only feel it's right to give you a heads up. Something tells me this Bulgar didn't just fall off the boat. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
It is a bit of a concerning thing.
Yeah, just, you know, try not to be alone.
I'm trying to be in public spaces as often as I can, but thank you for your learned opinion.
Yeah. Well, my line of work, you get to get a feel for people. So maybe you can benefit from that.
I hope so. I will try to keep an eye out for you if I feel I am in trouble.
Yeah. And you have any trouble, you can always count on Enshu over there. He's like a good with a blade from what I hear, and he likes to show off in front of the ladies. I know he put himself in front of any danger that was after you.
She laughs to herself, kind of quietly. He is a bit of a strange person. I'm not quite sure how to understand him.
Don't necessarily need to understand him. I quite enjoy his company. It's always good for a laugh.
Well, I will see if I can get a laugh or two out of him when I need it.
All right then.
Do you have any opinions on the crew? You interacted with everyone more than I did yesterday.
Well, I didn't like that Bulgar fella any. I have to say, he's a bit of a bully, and that's part of what makes me suspect. She'll point over at Gaff, giving that fella a right hard time. And so, you know, I don't like to point fingers without the facts, especially at someone who's already had a bit of a hard time, but I can see he might be holding a grudge. But then again, if this Bulgar was as nasty as he seemed to be, there might be others with grudges against him, so she shrugs.
Was Bolgar part of the crew? Or is he a traveler?
I think he was part of the crew. Not sure what his job was.
Perhaps learning who else is a member of the crew and their opinions on the man is a smart thing to do.
I think it probably is. Well, if I learn anything, I'll let you know. And if you hear about anything, why don't you clue me in? Does that sound like a fair deal?
Sounds like a deal, and she'll extend her hand to you.
Nia will grin broadly and shake her hand back. Okay. It's always good to have someone else watching your back. And she'll back away, knowing that Haley is not really super conversational.
And for the remainder of the day, it's pretty much going to be the same, situation. The mood changes a little bit more
can I?
darker. Oh yeah.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Can I check something real fast?
For sure.
While they're doing that upstairs, Garrus would like to kind of examine the missing guy's cot and see maybe did he change clothes? Is stuff missing, or is stuff still there? All that kind of stuff. Is anything amiss or out of place?
Yeah, checking below deck to the room. Yeah, you can find out which room is his as well, easy enough. And you want to kind of creep down there and pilfer around in there?
Yeah.
Are you going to try to sneak in there, or do you want to sneak in there?
If Garrus gets the impression on the way down that he needs to sneak in there, he's not being super stealthy about it, but when people were searching in general, he wants to take a look around it. But if people are standing guard or something, or are being weird about it, he might try and sneak in when no one's watching.
Yeah, you notice Filgan Thorn is down there, and he's kind of pacing around. He says something to Garak every once in a while, probably more shut your mouth, things like that. But yeah, you can try to creep in if you want to, which is a concealment check, or if you don't have the skill concealment, it's a or a perception check. Sorry.
Okay. Real fast, can I like kind of just listen, like pretend to be sleeping somewhere or whatever, and kind of listen to what they're saying for a little bit, to try and like overhear? Because that sounds like a little suspicious.
Yeah, you talking about the orc and Filgan?
Yeah, well, is Filgan telling the orc to sorry.
Yeah, Filgan told him to shut up, and it sounds
Okay.
like, yeah, it sounds like the orc is teasing him or something like that.
Okay, then yeah, I'll try and like I guess sneak past and examine. So you said perception check?
Yeah. Yeah, you slip in there, unnoticed, and you begin to check around in the room, pilfering through his room.
Are the clothes he wore yesterday?
You find like there's,
Are they there?
yeah, they are, and you don't notice anything strange, anything out of the ordinary. Checking out his cot and looking through his belongings.
Is the
There
cot
are.
made?
Hmm?
Is the cot made?
It is not made.
Okay.
It's just all disheveled.
Okay.
There is a small pouch on his cot, and that's pretty much the only thing in there that you find. The small pouch, if you want to, seems to be, like a belt pouch.
Can I check what's inside of it?
Yeah, it jingles when you get it. Maybe some coins in there, and go ahead and roll a d12. That's how many silver pieces are in there.
Well, Garrus isn't above taking that, but that wasn't really what he was looking for.
Yeah.
Does it look like, is there anything kind of disheveled in a way where it looks like someone else went through this at any point?
It's very possible somebody's already searched through here.
Okay. Well, Garrus will take the coins and then slip out.
Alright, cool. Yeah, you slip back out unnoticed. And is there anything else anybody else wants to do?
So did the peppermint leaf help with Ika's seasickness?
It did. It did. It alleviates the throwing up. You still feel kind of woozy and stuff, but you're good.
Ika will.
For the most
Ika
part.
will. She's not gonna be too much help in looking around. A lot of the time, she's gonna be spent on top deck, just kind of again looking out at sea. Like if she feels the need, she'll be like, okay. So a lot of the time, it's just spent kind of in the back of the ship there. It's not feeling the best.
Right. You didn't even drink, and you still feel like you did. But yeah, everybody seems to be going about the norm. After a few hours, it appears that the word is he was probably drunk and fell overboard. So, during that evening, they end up sharing a song again, kind of a sad tune, and they say a few words. About the loss of Bulgar, and he was part of the ship, you find out. You do notice that night that, because Naya, you're already watching him anyway, that Gaff drinks a little too heavily and goes below deck. And
Okay.
he gets very drunk. He's very quiet, and he just goes below deck. And everybody else says a few words of sad tales. They tell a few stories about Bulgar, and they try to make them good stories. One of them tells a story about, him helping him do things, helping him a few times on the ship. But other than that, he was kind of an asshole anyway.
Naya will probably follow Gaff below deck. See, without approaching him at first, just kind of examining what his demeanor is when he thinks that no one's looking at him.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a concealment check.
Okay.
Nice. He definitely doesn't see you down there. You peek around the corner. He's half lit in his lantern. He's just like curled up in his cot. And you notice that he seems like he's crying or something, crying himself to sleep or something. He seems to keep scratching himself, and he's just off. Something's weird about him.
Okay. Well, I think she probably would not approach a potentially crazy man alone in a dark corner of the ship, so just gonna kind of mentally make that note and return to everyone, and kind of whisper in Enshu's ear, you know, kind of what she saw. Anybody else from the other group of travelers that she's been talking to, she kind of give them a word of warning that this guy doesn't seem right in the head. Actually, she maybe even try to talk to the first mate about it, now that she's seen more.
First mate Abana?
Yeah.
Alright, you want to walk up to him?
Okay, where? I'm looking for his token. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay. Boy, yeah. First mate.
He says, what
Mate?
troubles you?
Hate to be a busybody, and I don't want to start rumours, but that guy fella, I don't know much about him, but he seems more than a little upset, and he seems a bit off, mate. First mate.
Does he? Ah. He'd had a lot to drink tonight, didn't he?
He did, but he's just being so weird, just scratching himself and crying and...
Oh, crying.
Yeah.
What?
And he didn't seem that fond of that fella, if you ask me.
We think you might have had something to do with it.
I don't want to point fingers. I didn't see anything. But maybe... I don't know. He just might be a strange fella, or maybe he did. Or maybe he saw something. I don't know. But he definitely seems a bit off, and I'd keep an eye on him.
And question him in the morning. I'll tell the captain about this too.
Alright. I don't want to be, spreading rumours among the crew just in case he had nothing to do with it.
No. Thanks for your observance. And then he walks off to go find the captain. He ends up meeting up with him. You can see him talking it over. It seems like the captain brushes it off after a little while.
Okay.
And then walks off. Goes back to his deck.
Well, I'd done my civic duty.
And that night, unless there's anything else you guys wanted to do?
I wanted to have a conversation with Ika at some
Okay.
point.
Yeah, Ika's just still on the deck, looking out of the water, still a bit uneasy, but feeling more or less better.
Are you feeling alright?
I'm feeling slightly better. Yes, thank you.
Of course. I'm gonna look around. Is there anybody, like, nearby?
No, not at this point. It's kind of nighttime now. most people have gone below deck. There are still a few people working up there, and
Okay.
Phelan Hawk is in her spot up there at the top. Crow's Nest.
I had a weird dream last night. Just felt like I needed to talk about it.
What kind of dream did you have?
It was about the amulet.
Really? What kind of dream? And I will lean in slightly towards Haley, looking very interested now in what she's saying.
It was very strange. I was running through a desert, being chased by these men in black and with curved swords. Then, as I saw them, there was just a flash of the amulet, but it was different. It looked silver, and there was an eye. But I could tell that it was the amulet that we have. I don't know what to make of it, but I feel like I really need to find some time and space to investigate this amulet further.
Do you know of anything in your past that relates to this? Or is this just faces that you've never seen before?
I've never even been to a desert. I didn't recognize the men at all.
You've looked through the amulet before, right? Have you opened it?
Rogue, have I ever... I know I've like messed with it before, but have I ever been able to open it or do anything with it?
You've never been able to open it up, but you could try.
I've never been able to open it before, but I feel like I might need to try again.
Aiko looks around.
Well, maybe we could try it now?
No. And she looks around and just wants to be really careful that like nobody's nearby or watching them.
You want to go to the back of the ship and do it in kind of a quiet spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you notice like the back of the ship seems to be the darkest area.
All right.
And you break it out. Go ahead and you want to make intelligence checks on this?
Sure.
I have no idea. I can't find any sort of opening.
You notice this time, Haley, that something inside seems like it moves when you you're being a little rough with it this time, actually, and it seems like something moved inside. This thing could be hollow.
I feel like there is something moving inside.
Strange.
There must be a way to open it somehow.
Maybe. Oh, there must be, but she's kind of thinking back to that blood note. It might not be the best idea for us to play with this since we're just handing it off.
Haley kind of looks guilty for a moment as she looks down at the amulet.
Don't look guilty, Haley.
Perhaps you're right.
I encourage this. This on me.
I just feel like it is important to know. But perhaps it's not. Perhaps we are only deliverers and we should mind our own business.
Sometimes that is better.
Haley's gonna kind of wrap it and put it back in her bag.
We know if you continue to have these dreams.
Haley just nods. I will.
Hopefully I won't be so seasick tomorrow.
After the first day or two, you generally get a little more used to it.
I hope so. It's been a miserable day.
I am sure. But we are almost 2 days down, halfway through our journey.
Yes, well, I can survive 2 more days of vomiting if need be. Like is only half joking about that, half kind of upset.
I just kind of like rub her back a little bit. It will be okay. You will be fine.
Really.
Perhaps it is time for us to rest.
Mm,
Maybe you should take the last watch today since you are feeling sick.
Alright, I'll take the last one. Micah makes her way downstairs.
And I'll head down with her. Then I imagine Aika goes to sleep and I'll kind of watch over her. And if I see Garrus, I'll let him know that I'm going to take the first watch. And that he should get some rest while he can.
Okay. Garrus will take second watch.
Okay, go ahead and put your characters where you're going to be for this night, sleeping and whatever. And Inshu kind of stayed. He slept a little while during the day, right?
Yeah, my Inshu's plan would have been to sleep a while during the day, speak with his target, quote unquote, during the day as well, dancing partner, and then obviously try to set aside some time during the night to speak with her if she was going to be awake. But otherwise, he's going to spend his night doing patrols on the ship, looking for anything weird, out of the ordinary.
During that evening, Inshu, you do talk with her for a while, and she ends up falling asleep in your lap pretty much, in the northern part of the deck, in the forward part of the deck, below deck, where her bed is. And you notice that Roth as well is in there, kind of sitting across from you. He listens to you guys talk for a little while, and as she falls asleep, Roth speaks to you for a moment, and, not a mean tone or anything, but he tells you about her husband, and he was a good friend of theirs and stuff, and how he died with honor, and he tells you about their whole adventure and everything. But just to fast forward through that, you do get to meet Roth for a little while and hang out with him for a while. He doesn't seem to be content for, hold any anger for you. Like maybe he was just watching you. So that night, Filgan comes up to you, Inshu, and says, "Are you going to take over watch for me tonight, then?"
Yes, if that is what you wish. I had spoken with the captain and offered my services for this, and, well, I am happy to help.
No, he said you would be taking over for me then. Or at least a few hours. I need some sleep.
Of course. I have seen that you watch this place very hard, very long periods of time. You deserve your rest.
And you notice that he has a patch over one eye. And he pulls out his pistol crossbow and points it towards the orc. And he says, "Now there are 2 eyes on you, Garak." And then he walks off.
And she would kind of take his spot next to the...
You notice the orc watching you, and he's kind of smiling. He says, "People missing." He says, "There will be more."
Look back at him. you're a very scary individual. I will give you this. But you seem smart in some aspect. What is it you know about this missing persons business?
The eyes in the dark. They will take you one by one. You will all pay in blood. Can you make a perception check too?
I can try. Alright.
Hey, alright. You notice that his leg seems to be bleeding a little bit. Most others probably wouldn't see it, but, you know, you with the twilight vision and everything, you notice that there's a little bit of dark running down his leg. It seems like maybe a cut or something. You notice, following the trail of blood, that one of his, he does have some sort of cut in his leg. One of his bones are missing too, one of the piercings in his leg.
I don't expect you tripped and slipped or anything like that to cut yourself on a loose board. And I would kind of nod my head towards his leg. How did you manage that?
He says, a gift from your friend.
The one who stands here regularly, yes?
He says one of them.
I do not agree with such a method. You are already in chains. What need is there to torture a man who is going to die? However, I think you know more than you are letting on. What eyes in the dark?
He comes over to the edge of the cage, you know, and he's looking at you, trying to be like intimidating and menacing, and he gets kind of loud this time. He says, Blood Moon, make slaves of you all. When Blood Moon comes, all must pay the price.
And what price are we to pay for being on a boat? We are but travelers. What have any of us done to wrong anyone?
Well, all souls, 3 souls, must be paid. He says, I would give all of your souls. He starts laughing and stuff. And you notice somebody comes out at that time, Handal, this kind of pale-fleshed guy. Looks like a mage type of dude. He says, what is the problem? He looks over towards the orc. To keep it down.
This one makes much noise about something.
He says, I'm trying to study. You notice too that he has a little bit of blood on his hands, a little bit on his jacket and everything, and he turns back around. Gets kind of like a shy look on his face as you look him over. And he says, please, keep him quiet. He goes back into his room.
Yeah, I'm gonna alternate looking strange as he walks away and looking back at the orc. I will tell you, orc. I know that you have been bidden to be executed when we reach our destination. But know this. What I lack in stature, I make up for in heart and speed. And if I find that you are the cause of this, bounty or no, I will let you from your cage to face me, and I will cut you down on this deck.
He smiles at you and he says, challenge, I accept.
Yes. We will see.
You might be a good challenge. You look fast.
It may be a speed you cannot perceive, Oaf. Kind of looks at him side-eyed, but he's taking an interest now. He'll look back at him, see if satisfied that he's pretty secured. And he's actually going to go check on the mage, because him being covered in blood in the middle of the night after people are missing is concerning.
All right. As you start to walk away, he says it again. Eyes in the dark. Remember. You can see the door to Handal's room is closed, and there's a little bit of light coming from underneath. Candlelight.
I'll knock on it lightly. It's kind of tap.
Yes. Who is it?
Room service.
You can hear a bunch of shuffling in there and stuff being put away and moved really quickly. And then the door opens up and... yes. Oh, what is it?
Enshu's going to try to push his way in and look around a bit. Coming to check on something.
Can you see in there?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. He tries to stand in the way, but yeah, you can easily get by him, and he's like, you can see on the table, he has a table, candle there, he has notes. Go ahead and make a perception check when you get in here, too.
Oh my.
Yeah. Can you see that?
Yes.
Strange diagrams of the body and many medical books scattered here and there. Some ancient texts that seem to be scribbled in blood. Strange books, strange diagrams of the body, and definitely weird. He says, I'm busy, very busy with my studies. It does not smell good in here. There's a stench of something possibly rotten. Could be old fish, but you don't notice the plates at all or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm familiar. I've been around death. Does it remind me of blood, flesh like that, or?
Yeah, it does actually.
Take a deep whiff. Kind of curl my nose. Who are you? Why are you covered in blood?
He says, please. It is all part of my studies. I do not mean any harm in the matter. Please do not bring this matter up to the captain.
Well, if you wish it not to be brought to the captain, then you'd better give me some information on what it is.
When the body went missing and the warnings of the creature next to me, he says, I've been troubled by this. I've been working on something to protect me. It's, do not concern yourself with, and it doesn't pose any harm or threat to you all. It is a bit of the magic that I use.
I am not concerned with wizard tricks, but you seem to know what you must do to protect yourself.
I do. I need to protect myself and others if need be.
What is it that is the ravings of the mad orc? What does he say? What does he mean?
He worries me. Something is coming, and he knows it. Something is... Maybe he has friends prepared to attack us. I don't know. Maybe they're following our ship.
Something is already here. A man is missing. You do not just go missing in the ocean in the middle of a boat, no matter how drunk you are. Eyes in the dark. You are a learned man, a man of the arcane, it seems. What is it exactly that could mean, in your opinion? Blood moon.
He looks past you and like trying to make sure there's nobody else around or anything. He's like, there could be evil spirits here watching us right now. I do not know. He's like, that's why I am afraid. I need to create something to protect myself. You notice too, there's a little bit of blood in his hurry to try to hide things. A little bit of blood on the floor now. And it looks like he might have shoved something under his cot.
And I'll close the door behind me and... I do not have any reason to doubt you at this time, but I will be looking to see exactly what it is you are doing. For the safety of all others, of course.
He kind of backs away. He like looks pretty scared right now.
And I'm gonna try to take a peek under the cot to see exactly what's going on with that.
You notice there's a large chest, almost like, it's pretty long, almost the size of the cot. You think you remember him like bringing it on board the ship too. Yeah, but it's fit like tight, snugly underneath the cot. A little bit of blood trails up to it. Something's definitely in there, and you think that the smell is coming from it.
Before I do this, which I'm about to open, I must ask you, what exactly is the school, I should say, or perhaps form of magic which you practice?
He looks ashamed, you know, even to say the word, and he says it's black magic, or necromancy. I know it is illegal in some places, but I need it to protect myself.
Many good things are illegal, though I do not know if it is a good thing to be a necromancer. You know I must see what this is. It will not leave this room. Whatever it is I see, I will not tell anyone. You have my word, but I must know. So, I will let you open it.
He seems to believe you, you know, and he like hesitant, but he goes down and opens up, he pulls the chest out. It's definitely like really heavy at this point, and he unlatches it, still blood on the thing, you know, and opens it up, and you can see he has been constructing a body. It's called he says, it is my rot guard. I am constructing it. It will take one more day to complete. You can see it's like a body that's been dismembered and folded up in here. There's iron spikes and nasty stuff.
So there's nothing that looks familiar to the man missing.
But it's definitely not, yeah, it's definitely not him.
You may put it away now.
He says, you will not tell anyone.
No, I had to confirm suspicions that it may be the missing man, but you have brought an entirely different corpse on board. Listen, I will tell no one of this. And I did not come in here, you did not see me. I will tell no one, but I warn you. I believe that you mean to protect yourself, perhaps others, but if I find that that is not the case, this is not for show. And he taps on his rapier. Are we clear on the understanding?
he seems like very astonished and happy, you know, that you're not going to call him out. He's like, of course, of course. Ah, I am at your service, whatever you need. Thank you so much.
Of course. When you finish your construction, if you come across anything that is similar to these eyes in the dark, these spirits, you will tell me.
He smiles and kind of rubs his hands together. Of course. I will speak to the spirits.
Very good. You kind of coughing. Good evening.
And good evening to you.
Exit and close the door.
And I think we're going to have to call it here.
Yes.
Anybody want to close with anything else, or are we good to go?
Good to go.
I think I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, nobody's died yet. Well, none of us have died yet.
Yeah.
No players have
We
died yet.
survived the session.